Welcome everyone to our first webinar in our Global Cook and Learn series. I'm Brianna Mir, Global Commercial and Diversity Specialist at Texas Realtors, here to bring you the first webinar in our Global Cook and Learn series. This series will highlight our local global business councils and their regional recipes. Today we are joined by San Antonio's Global Business Council. Ranked as the 7th largest city in America, San Antonio continues to grow as young professionals and businesses are taking notice of the abundant opportunities in San Antonio. Elsa Cantu, Global Chair, and Anna Ramos, Global Vice Chair from the San Antonio Board of Realtors, will show us how to make arepas while sharing regional updates of San Antonio. And now to help us kick off the event, Annalise Gonzalez, VP of Member Engagement from San Antonio Board of Realtors, to talk more about our panelists.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, Brianna, and thank you all for joining us for our first webinar in the Global Cook and Learning series. Joining us today, as you mentioned, are Anna Ramos and Elsa Cantu from the San Antonio Board of Realtors. Originally from Brownsville, Texas, Elsa has lived in San Antonio for 15 years and has been at the San Antonio Board of Realtors Global Business Council for the past 3. She's also held other positions on other committees for SABOR. She studied abroad in Madrid, Spain as a university student and received an MBA in international business. Elsa holds a certified international property designation, which provides her with knowledge and network to globalize business for her clients. She loves to travel, meet new business partners, and eventually become friends and promote the San Antonio, Texas, the city of San Antonio, as well as all of other cities in Texas. Anna, on the other hand, has been a full-time realtor since 2006. She is a journalist with more than 25 years of experience in global marketing and communications, who found passions in the ever-changing world of real estate. She has lived in 3 countries, moved to more than a dozen cities with and without relocation benefits, which gives her a real inside look and knowledge of the process. Along with her career, she has been involved in more than 2,400 transactions in Missouri and Texas, including local, national, and international clients. Achieving the highest level of customer satisfaction, Anna holds a certified international property specialist designation, which opens the world of business opportunities around the globe for her clients. So if you have any questions during our cooking demonstration, please submit the questions on the Q&A box and chat, and we will get those over to Anna while they cook. Again, thank you for joining us on behalf of San Antonio Board of Realtors, and we hope you enjoyed the event.
Well, welcome to our first cooking class here in San Antonio. I am Anna Ramos, broker associate here with Elsa Cantu, and we are super happy to have you and be the guinea pigs for this first cooking seminar. And
I know. So we're really excited to share this wonderful recipe. I will be the official sous chef because she is the cook.
So we were thinking, and I'm originally from Venezuela, and we have, one of the things that we have seen is that we have so many similarities across Latin America. Mm-hmm. And although we have different dishes and accents and everything and completely different cuisines, there are some things that are similar. So one of them is, for us in Venezuela, is the arepas, which are also made in Colombia, and which is very similar to the gorditas in Mexico. So anyway, it's a very simple recipe and a very simple dough. This is usually in Venezuela and also in Colombia. We use this not as a substitute, but it's there as our bread mostly, and it's present in every food that we use and every meal that we give. So you can make them fried or grilled, which is what I'm going to do today. So it's very simple. The first ingredient we're going to use is water. It's 3 cups of water we're going to use, and 2 cups of this harina pan, and a teaspoon of salt. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the salt to the water, and I'm going to just mix it up. And once it's all mixed up, I'm going to start adding the dough. And what you want to do, and what I'm doing, is that if you start whisking it, it's easier to start dissolving so you don't have any lumps, you
Okay.
know, when you start mixing it. So at the beginning, of course, it's going to be very watery, very runny. And then you add everything in. And you see it starts to kind of become firmer. So once it's like that, then you use your hands to kind of start kneading a little bit on it.
Oh, that's the best part.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're at home, then you just taste it and see if it's good with salt, you know, salt enough, and then you just add it. So as you start kneading, you need to let it kind of rest. And if you see it start becoming a dough, and when you just, you know, you just start kneading, and it needs, you then leave it a little bit so it rests.
How long do you leave it to rest?
Well, it depends, you know, probably about a couple minutes, like 5-10 minutes, you know.
That's not long.
And then you adjust the texture. If it's, what you want to do is you want to have the texture probably like a Play-Doh, very soft Play-Doh.
Yes.
So once it doesn't stick on your hand, you know that it's kind of ready, but you still want to leave it rest a little bit. But since we are ready and we are taking this to the next level, I do have one that it's already made. So if you see this one, so you see, Elsa, you know, my hand does not stick and it's kind of together.
Good, that's a trick, huh?
So then you grab like a ball, a little ball, and you start forming it. And depending on how you like it, if you want it, you know, kind of, and you just start forming.
Kind of like the gorditas.
Kind of like gorditas, but I think the gorditas are a little bit thinner than what we do.
Yes.
Do you use it with your hands or do you use it with like the press?
Well, I've seen it done for somebody else to cook it. So I think they're a little bit thinner.
Okay, so it depends on how you like them. So you shape them, and once they're ready, then you just throw them in the grill. So it's super, super easy. This is something that usually in Venezuela, we use it in breakfast, you know, or lunch or anything, but you know, the kids are going to school then, and once you're ready, we're going to show you, you stuff them with whatever you want, basically,
that's nice.
You know, so
really
ham,
nice.
cheese, chicken, whatever you have, or you just eat it by itself with some butter on it, and they're really good.
That's great.
So anyway, so while we have this, Elsa, why don't you share with us, how is it our market in San Antonio? I mean, you've been doing real estate here for a long time, and you certainly know more about San Antonio than me, so please let us know.
So, the market here is great. Right now, we see there's a lot of activity. We've seen a lot of our numbers from our international foreign buyers go up, and we see a lot of people moving here, either for business, they're relocating their families here. Sometimes they start off as a business deal coming here. They love it. People from China, France, Germany, Mexico. We just have a very, very great community here in San Antonio. And there's so many festivals all year long going on here in San Antonio. It's just a diverse community. And for a real estate, both business and commercial real estate, and of course our residential, it's really, really great right now. What have you seen this past year?
Well, I've been in San Antonio for 7 years now, and I've seen it grow a lot in all communities, but I can probably speak a little bit more about the Venezuelan, which is probably the one I'm more connected to. And what I've seen is that we have had a huge migration, probably because of the very difficult situation we have back in Venezuela. But I've also seen, you know, the communities have grown, and it's not only the Hispanic communities, but also from the global perspective. I see a lot of people interested in investing here in San Antonio. Not only, of course, our first market, I would say, should be Mexico and Canada. We do have a lot of people, but from Asia as well. And Texas overall seems to be a good investment. We have a solid market overall in Texas. And so that gives your investor probably as a secondary home. Don't you think, you know, they have a good side, you know, property taxes. We don't have state taxes. We are one of the things that people like about San Antonio, and people, not many know, but we are the first city in the United States to have a vision built by the community through San Antonio 2020, which they do an amazing job here. You should look into that. And we have so much stats and everything information. But I think, you know, from the global perspective, and I've seen a lot of realtors, more realtors becoming more interested in getting their CIPS certification and doing some global business, which I think is awesome.
I know that's really true. So, and then like we say, they start off here maybe for a business deal, and they bring their families, and then like we say in Mexico, corre la voz. You know, like everybody tells everybody else, and hey, you know, San Antonio's a great place. Austin, Dallas, El Paso, the South Texas, everywhere. Just Texas is a great state, and they really promote us. They are our ambassadors out there, you know, so we really.
And the other area where we're seeing, and I'm not sure if you have done with that, the other area where we're seeing a lot of activity coming from is California, for sure. You know, we have a lot of people coming from California, and of course, for what they sell their house there, you know, they can get the house, the investment, the rental, you know, everything here. So it seems to be a very good market. I mean, I very dynamic and very stable. We tend not to have probably a seasonal market in San Antonio. It's steady. With that, between that and the military, we cannot forget our military city
as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and so there's a lot of movement there with military also, and then again, that's everybody promotes us when they move, and you know, they get their move to other states. They say, hey, we've been in San Antonio, Texas, and it's great, close to Austin, close to Houston, just a drive away, and even Dallas. You know, we are so fortunate to have so many great cities that we're right in the heart of Texas, but right?
Yeah, so.
Anna and Elsa, this is Annalise Gonzalez again. Can you talk a little bit about maybe some of the cultural differences from Latin America when you're selling? I know we've talked about that a lot in our International Day, and maybe you can touch on a little bit of that.
Well, definitely yes, because, you know, although the cultural differences, I think sometimes people, it's like when we mistakenly believe, you know, everybody from Asia is the same, and it's completely different cultures. I think happens exactly the same thing with Mexico being so close to the border to the US. Sometimes people believe, because it's what we have the most information about, is that we are all like Mexico, and it's quite different, you know. For instance, in Venezuela, and I would say, Venezuela, we are not a country of, for instance, a culture of spicy food. We eat some spicy food, but it's not like in Mexico.
No jalapenos, habaneros.
We have something, no, we do have some very, very, very hot chilies, but it's not part of our everyday culinary stuff, you know? So same thing with Colombia, and then we have Brazil, which is in Latin America, but now, you know, with a Portuguese heritage, it's a completely different culture. In Peru, for instance, the culinary is amazing because they do have such a big Asian influence. So I would say one of the most diverse foods that I've tasted in Latin America is the Peruvian food. They have, they have a lot of with the native Indians and the locals and seafood, but they have such a strong influence from Asia and Japan particularly, that is amazing to see them, you know, it's very good. I mean, here in San Antonio, we have a couple restaurants that are oriented, you know, Peruvian fusion oriented.
Cuban.
And Cuban as well.
Right.
Of course.
And then also, like, going back to our clients, our foreign buyers coming in from Mexico. So I am very glad that I own an SUV, because it's like, okay, first you show the house to the mom and dad, and they go, well, we love the house, but we need to bring other family members to show it to. And oh, well, fine, that's fine. But then we find out it's grandpa, and it's grandma, and it's uncle, and then maybe a cousin or two. So it's like, we have to be prepared for all the dynamics of our wonderful culture. And I love it, because everybody has something to say about the new house where they're going to be having their parties and get-togethers. So it's important. What have you seen?
And I think that's across Latin America. You know, the Hispanic communities for sure, you know, we gather,
Mhm.
we talk, we chat,
We eat.
yeah, we eat a lot. So kitchens usually for the Hispanic community will be a major factor when they're buying a house. They definitely want to have a big kitchen when they can gather with family and friends.
Right.
That is something real
Yeah.
important for them. Yeah,
A pool is
definitely.
good too.
Oh
Because
yeah,
then they can have a pool
the
party while they're
margaritas
done.
and
That's
stuff.
right.
Yeah, so definitely, yes. Um, So yeah, I mean, I think San Antonio has a mix of everything, and of course, if you see the population, if you go further south in South America, when you see Argentina and Chile and Uruguay and Paraguay, Argentina had the largest Italian migration. So there you will see a lot of Italian heritage.
Okay.
And of course, they're well known by their amazing beef and the parrilladas and the asados that they make. So when you travel across South America, it's amazing because you see all this fusion, you know, and then you go to Chile and then it's seafood paradise. You know,
my goodness.
you go across, you know, because, you know, between Chile and Argentina, when you go down to the Patagonia region, you have to jump because they're like fjords. So you have to jump from one country to the other. So between the fruit, and because they have different weathers that we have here in the northern hemisphere. So they have amazing fruit and the seafood is just to die.
And then don't forget the wine.
Oh, of course.
South American wine.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Absolutely. So let me tell you what I've been doing. So here I put them on the grill. And what you want to do is when they are in the grill, and you can do this in a cast iron skillet in your cooktop as well.
Okay, good.
As you can see, you know, we have to have a huge grill here at home. So then you start turning them, and what you're looking for is for them to start building that little crust on each side, on both sides. So you start turning them, and once you they start like this, and then when that little crust is formed, and then you turn them a couple times, then they're ready. You can bump up, you know, like speed up the process of cooking them. If you have an oven and you turn it like in 400 degrees, once that little crust is formed, you can throw them in the oven. And what you want to do, what would happen is that they will pop and they will become like a little pocket. So when you tap on them and they sound like hollow, then you're done.
Okay.
So, and then comes the best part, which is eating them.
So, of course.
So sometimes, you know, it takes a little practice. Usually they should be round, but you know, when you start making them, they might be whatever shape. It doesn't matter. You eat it anyway.
Mine will be round. Mine will be square. They look like Texas.
It doesn't matter. You're gonna. Well, yeah, you can. So, I mean, you just start turning them in the grill.
It's an art.
Well, it's practice, really. You know, this is something we always have, and you can freeze them. If you make them and then you freeze them, then you thaw them and then just throw them in the oven or a toaster, and they're ready to eat. So it's very convenient when you don't have too much time. And instead of having just maybe bread, and it's gluten-free. So if you have any gluten stuff, then you can just you know, freeze them and then get them out, thaw them, and then eat them real quick. So.
And how about the dough? How long does that last, or how far in advance can you make it?
Oh, you can make it in advance. It will last a few days in the fridge.
Okay.
So if you want to make the dough and leave it ready, and then just start making them as you eat them as well, you can. You just leave them not to be. Try to bring it to room temperature. So and you knead a little bit the dough so you can again a consistent, you know, but because when it's cold, it kind of crumbles a little bit. But once it's like cookie dough. It's the same thing, you know. So.
Anna, Elsa, I just want to tell you, you have Buenos Dias from Mexico. You have you have people from Dallas, from Houston, all excited, wanting the recipe, saying you're making them hungry. And just really that they like they like, you know, your chemistry on here. So you have people internationally watching, so that's wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. And what
great,
questions do they have from, I don't know, I would love the audience to let us know
Yes.
and to share with them, you know, what is your experience with international audiences and cultures? We would love to hear from the audience what is, you know, what is in your thought, what has been your experience
Yes, call
with
it in.
international clients, you know, please share with us that with us. We would love to hear your experiences as well.
We will let you know as soon as they post on that. We also have someone from Austin who's watching too.
All right.
Awesome. So, you know, these are still cooking, and what you can see here, I'm going to turn this a little bit. So,
This is such a nice griddle. I love it.
well, again, it's a Hispanic family, a Latin family, so it has to be huge because when you have people, there's no way it's just one or two. So you have to feed everybody, the whole crowd. And it's awesome because at least in our home, you know, it's us, our friends, but also our kids. Our kids' friends, they're used to it, you know. Sometimes with the American culture might not be as, you know, as open and loud as we are sometimes.
Yes.
So we teach them and they used to that when they come home, they're gonna be hugged and kissed. So no matter what, and they're gonna be fed, you know, they're gonna eat a lot. So
Oh, that's a given.
yes,
There's always food.
so
and-
there's always food. We always have food here.
That's
so,
true. Oh, those are looking so good. Oh my gosh.
So you
Anna,
see, you
we
start.
have, oh, I'm sorry. Anna, we
Yes,
have
go ahead.
Jerry Bolin Buckner from the DFW area that says he can't wait to try this. He's had many Latin clients and some from the Middle East and Asia.
You know that I would love Gary to share, you know, if he feels what he feels, but I've seen that the people from the Mediterranean area as well and Europe tend to be a lot from like the Hispanic, not the Nordics, but you know, everybody from the Mediterranean,
Yes.
Italians or Greeks or Spaniards, of course, and Portugal still.
Right.
They kind of share that, you know, and Middle East in many countries, they're very family oriented as well. you know.
Yes.
From-
And their food, you know, too, like the pita bread and,
yes.
you know,
Yes.
other cultures have something very similar
Yeah.
with us. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm Greek descendant. So at home, this will be like
So
a
the
mix.
next segment, we will have Greek food.
Of course, I'll be happy
present
to.
it.
Yeah. So I remember at home, talking about diversity, I'm Greek descendant. So my mom and my grandma from my mom's side are Greek.
Oh,
And from my dad's side, they're from Venezuela, but my grandfather was from Spain. So Venezuela had and most of all of the South America lot had a lot of, after the Second World War, a lot of immigrants came to Venezuela looking and to South America looking for better opportunities. So we had this amazing mix of cultures. So we have huge Spanish, Portuguese, Italian communities. And so the mix of food and cultures, you know, brought us amazing foods. And when Venezuela was the beautiful place that it used to be, we used to have world-class restaurants, you know, and a very interesting fusion of cultures, you know. We used to have an amazing bread that we make very good quality, but the people from Portugal pride themselves on making an amazing bread. So it will be fresh bread. You will see, for instance, in Venezuela, you will see like a McDonald's, but you will see the areperas. It's where they sell the arepas. So you will see these huge trays with stuffings, what you can imagine, you know, and I'm going to name a few in a little bit when we stuff ours. And the arepas, and that's what people go and stop and buy and stop by like a McDonald's and get them. Actually, McDonald's in Venezuela started doing arepas and yuca, fried yuca, because that's something that we eat a lot there too. So they adapted, even the big franchises have adapted their menu to, like they do in any other country, to suit the cultural needs of the population where they're at.
Nice.
So it's very interesting.
So do you think they could be like an arepa with a Big Mac inside? Or?
No, they don't go that far.
Okay.
No.
I just want to know.
Well, but you can stuff it with whatever you want.
Right.
So anyway, so while these are making, in the make, again, the beauty of TV. So
Live TV.
live TV. So I
Oh my
made
gosh,
a
they're
few
already
ones
made.
that are ready. So if you see the crust, and then what we do just to eat them. So I put some ham and cheese, but basically you can stuff them with whatever you want. So as you would go with anything, you know, you just cut them. You can add some butter or nata.
So like you just go halfway, you just cut them halfway.
Well, you know, there's a debate. Some people say they eat like this, like this is your half arepa, and some other people just cut it in half. So it depends on how you want your half.
But sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. So you basically, I mean, I have some ham and cheese here, and you just, you know, please help yourself, Elsa.
Okay, if I must.
Please.
Okay, I'll take this half because
you can have the other half.
As you can see, I can't even cut it. Oh my gosh.
And then you just stuff it with whatever you want. Ham and cheese, and then you enjoy it. That's it.
And then this is other little type of cheese?
This is white cheese. It's kind of a queso fresco, but probably a little bit drier, lower humidity or moisture than a queso fresco. But you can do like chicken. In Venezuela, I was saying that those areperas, you can find like from seafood, white cheese, yellow cheese, ham, turkey. I've seen like some stuff like pork and pork belly. And for those who like the pork belly, I'm not a fan, but anyways, but you can find almost anything. So what do you think?
Anna, we have a couple questions.
I'm your new house guest.
Yeah, sure.
They want to know how many, if you know, about how many calories is each arepa, and
you don't count them.
And did you say that they were gluten-free? And so what type of flour do you use?
Of course. So the calories for an arepa this size might be about 100 calories, 120 calories.
And it's just
okay. And this is the dough. And this is not exactly pan, which is the brand, harina pan. This is for cachapas, which is another dish. But this is kind of what you're looking for. So it is a flour, a pre-cooked corn flour. That's what it is. So that's why it's gluten-free. So when you talk to corn flour, you will see that it's the corn flour that you probably use here to see the US. There's also the maseca, which is what you use for the gorditas and the tortillas, which is also a corn flour. And this is the harina pan, which is the one we use in Venezuela and Colombia. It is also a corn flour, but it's a different texture and a different taste, completely different taste. I mean, if you do if you use regular corn flour here and the maseca and the harina pan, you put them all three together, it's completely different. So I would say a small arepa will be anywhere between 120 and 150 calories, I would say.
And where do you find like this? Would it be
H-E-B?
H-E-B?
Oh, for those who are in the Texas area in San Antonio know what H-E-B is, then H-E-B has it. And if you're not, usually in the Mexican stores, you will find harina pan or I think Goya makes it as well. This is a Venezuelan brand, but Goya makes it, and it's Mazarepa. It's the brand or the name they use for in Goya or other brands. But basically, you look for the corn flour or harina para arepas, corn for arepas, and you should find them.
That sounds great.
And these, go ahead.
Steering away a little bit from the arepas, we do have a question from April Fisher, who's asking, she has her CIPS designation. She would like your suggestion on what and how to do more business with Mexico and South America.
Okay. Well, so I think one of the first areas or a suggestion I would do is to join AMPI. It's AMPI, and it's the same thing as our NAR. And so it's their organization. They have so many things, so many, well, not this year, but the conventions, meetings, and they're always open to
They're
realtors.
working very hard to
Yes,
put it,
they
make
really
a nice
are.
convention.
And
yes.
they love Texas Realtors. I mean,
Yes.
we just have so much fun. They come to our Texas Realtor convention. They host the international party. And that's a very, very, that I would start there, first of all. And then what do you think, Anna?
What I would suggest is like, what I would suggest to any realtor, any new or seasoned agent that would like to join or do something different in real estate, start by maybe looking for a meetup group or an association close to where you are of the Hispanic culture, because something it's very important with the Hispanics, as you start knowing, one of the most important things is building trust. For the Hispanic community, building that trust and that relationship, it's crucial to start doing business with somebody. We are not as formal as other cultures when it comes to business. We're not the kind of culture that are going to start talking business right away and go to the point. No, that doesn't work. We want to get to know you, your family, your friends and stuff, and then we'll start doing business with you.
Right.
So what I would suggest is start mingling and getting to know some Hispanics in the community. I would think that I will be your best resource for referrals, introductions, understanding what they want and how they want things. And I think that will be, besides, you know, the professional associations, which I think is, of course, it's, you know, it's, of course, yes.
Right.
But I would suggest that, you know, get together with with those cultural differences, understand them, ask questions. We love to answer those questions. How would you do things here? How do you eat this food? How do you do? We are, we in the Hispanic community, we would love to share and talk a lot with people. So
yeah, we do. It's like, you know, here in America, we have a 1 hour lunch. What's that? It's like 3 hour lunch to begin with. And then, you know what? We still don't talk business because we're going to meet you later on for drinks. And then maybe we'll get to see, you know, I do want that,
it is exactly how it
100,000 square foot warehouse that I need because I'm
opening up a new business
in
here.
Dallas.
Yes.
You know, we say, yes, we can help you.
And absolutely. Absolutely. I hope that answers your question. Do you have any other questions, Annalise?
We have a comment that states that Ombi is a great suggestion. Ed Eakin is saying that he's hosting a reception Thursday with Ombi in Playa del Carmen, and would also suggest joining NARA and maybe some of the affinity groups that
absolutely,
that's true. So we're going to go buy our tickets today to be there for Thursday's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I will join Ed.
Yeah, and we have international, and if you want to learn a little bit more about the international and how things are doing international, at least from the San Antonio perspective of how we're doing, you can guys join us for International Day, which is our event coming up in October 15, a month from today. And we are going to talk a lot about international business and probably the impact of this COVID thing and how is business adapting and how is things are doing around the world. So Elsa, do we have any other comments?
I think as far as our city right now, San Antonio, we are in the safe zone according to our mayor and to Nelson Wolf. And we're just at a good place right now. We're just gonna be coming out of this and going forward.
Yeah. So that's gonna be International Day. And Elise, I don't know if you can put in the chat some information, and we'll post and share where, you know, when we have more information about International Day.
Absolutely, I'll put that in the chat. I do have another comment from April Fisher, who thanks you both. She does commercial business in Dallas, Fort Worth, and said so should I build those relationships locally so to travel with them in the future?
I would start locally.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
I would start locally.
Or even, you know, like with us, with other realtors in San Antonio that are,
of course,
you know, CIPS, and that's why we have the network and to work together.
And the CIPS network works very well. And of course, I think it's like everything. The more you put into it, the more you get. It's like a system. A system is a system, and it's going to give you what a system's going to give you.
Right.
But it's up to you to see how you can use those tools. You know, there are, I strongly suggest mingling with the population, with the different cultures,
Right.
and starting from there. Of course, referrals from different states and different cities is always a source of referrals.
Right.
Even if you are not, because sometimes I believe that there is a language barrier, and that you cannot change, you know. But for those international clients that still speak English, if they feel like you understand what they're looking for, and you understand the culture, they will be happy to work with you. They will give you that opportunity.
Right.
I'm not going to say that, yes, I mean, if you have somebody that speaks Spanish and understands completely, yes, that is an advantage, a plus that you have, absolutely. But more than that is how confident and they feel with you, and how much they trust you. So,
yeah.
You know,
the trust is a major factor.
Yes.
And what do you think, Anna, on Facebook presence? It's, you know,
well, Facebook
that's
is
all
always,
over the world. So
that's all
they
over
go,
the
hey,
world.
you know, like this April realtor, she's really got it going on. We see her all the time on there. You know, she just sold a big warehouse, and they like to see
it's
that.
like everything, you know, you have to start again, you know, but identify your ideal client. You know, riches is in the niches. That's something that at least I teach to my mentees and the agents that I coach, is that you just have to first define your client. And once you define your ideal client to the point where you know what they like to eat, where they like to eat, what do they enjoy, what they don't like, what kind of drink they like, do they like domestic beer, do they like craft beer, do they like wine, what kind of wine. So once you have nailed that completely, then you can definitely focus in marketing to them. So
that's right.
If you believe that Hispanic community is something that you can add on to your ideal client that might not be a Hispanic client at this point, then you can always, you know, add it on, but study it, you know what they like, what they do, where they go. And the more you understand them, the better you can build a trust and with them, and that will drive to business as well.
Yeah, that's right. You know, like in the Hispanic community, I'm sure that a lot of other was, but us, like un regalito, like, you know, a little gift. Like, you know, oh, this perfume bottle, this is for your wife.
Yeah.
You know, like when you have a business meeting or something like that. And it's just a little touch.
Yeah, the little things. And listening to the grandparents, you know, because the grandparents are going to be there.
Yes.
So they're going to be talking to you and saying, okay, so, but mija, this house is like, this kitchen is too small. And then you know, but you know, if you do this and you do that. So it's a family event, I can tell you.
Right. Especially the grandparents are moving in, you know, so they need their own suite to the side. And that's happening a lot nowadays in all cultures, as a matter of fact.
So as we've been going through this 30 minutes, I mean, if you click on the, you know, tap on them, they're saying hello.
Okay.
So they're ready. This one's are ready as well as this one. So.
But those are hot.
Those are warmer than this one.
So I will have one of those, hot ones, with cheese and ham.
Anna Nelson, we do have a question from Hector Garcia asking, how difficult is it to get financing for non-citizens? And just to follow up on that, Renee Harris is asking, kind of what all does it take to get your CIPS designation? How many classes? So a question on CIPS and financing for non-citizens.
For the financing, I don't know what you think, Elsa. In my case, I've seen there are some banks, major banks, international banks, that will be due. HSBC is one of them. And you just have to start checking international. What they do is they run an international credit and an international assessment. And from there, you will be able to get the financing. Of course, it's not going to be like your FHA, down payment assistance. So most likely you will have to put at least 20% down. You will have to have a very strong assets or financials to do that. But you definitely can do. There are some banks actually in Germany as well, around the world, that they do international lending.
Yes, they do. Deutsche Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here locally, BBVA
Yes.
Compass also is another bank. And on the CIPS classes, it's 5 classes. And I would choose a destination place to do my classes, because I think I could handle being in a classroom that's overlooking the ocean.
Yeah, that
So
gives you the
we're talking
international
about,
experience.
yeah. So they offer CIPS, of course. We have them in Dallas. We have them San Antonio. I think we're going to be
They
hosting
came
one.
here
Gonna be-
last year.
Yeah.
We had them here. It was awesome. I don't know if this year, but we
Mhm,
look forward to have those classes here, and you can always take them online as well. It is, I think it's a commitment. No, it's not too much about, because what you're going to get in those classes, you're going to learn a lot of stats and everything, but it's understanding the culture, what you're looking for, and that's going to take time,
Right,
that's
right.
practice.
And I think I loved my CIPS classes. I had Richard Miranda as my instructor out of Houston. Yay, Houston. And then, so I just met some wonderful people from my class, and we are in contact still, and that's where it all starts. And you really keep contact with them, and they know people, you know people.
Yeah,
and
you start building your referral and your SOI. Definitely.
Right, right. So yes, good luck to you, and go ahead and sign up for the CIPS class right away. But of course, if you can go to Cancun, do it.
Yeah, or a cruise. You can take them on a cruise as
yeah.
well. Well, with this pandemic, I'm not sure
Well, next year,
what's going to
maybe
happen,
the
but once
international
it's
cruise.
possible, yes, I would definitely encourage you to do the cruise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stuff them a little bit, and the other thing you can do is just throw them in the grill so they warm up and the cheese melts.
Yum.
And you can make, if you make the dough as well with this, and you can fry them, deep fry them, and they're so good. So you have to forget about the calories.
So forget about the calories.
On this one. I'm not even going to talk about calories for the fried ones.
But it's deep fried.
But you deep fry them, and if you're going to do deep fry them, just make sure that when you do the arepa, open a little hole in the middle, because a fried arepa has to have a hole in the middle for yes, and just deep fry them. They warm up really nice in an air fryer as well, if that's something that you would like to do. So, or a toaster or an oven.
I may need to invest in an air fryer.
Oh, that's a nice.
That sounds easy.
No, that's a nice tool.
Okay.
A nice tool, definitely. So, do we have any other questions, Annalise?
Yes, we do. We do have somebody asking which bank you mentioned earlier, and then we have a follow-up from one of our own committee members, Nora, who's saying BBVA Compass will work with all foreigners, and I think someone else said that as well. And we have someone asking if CIPS classes are coming up in San Antonio. We are working with our Realtor Academy in San Antonio for the next CIPS class. We did host it last year, so we are looking, I believe, to do that again. So we'll make sure that we announce that as we do. Great. And someone else has mentioned that CIPS cruise will happen January 2021.
There you go.
That's good. Buying my tickets today.
Yeah. I did mine online.
You did?
I did.
Okay, so what was your experience online?
Well, it is more educational than the networking part. You don't have that networking part, because you do, you just go through the slide. It is very, very robust, the classes. So you really have a lot of, if you are an online class person, easy for you to learn, like self-taught kind of thing. The internet, the online classes are very good. I've done much more of my networking through social media with international realtors, more than the one, but I certainly encourage, if you have the opportunity to do it in person, 100%.
I can tell you that with my classes that we had, so we went to class all day, and I guess we really just loved each other so much that we go, okay, tonight we meet for margaritas, and then the next night we met for dinner. And then there was like 3 ladies. One of them was from Tennessee, and one of them was from Dallas area, and they came to San Antonio to take these classes. And I thought that was amazing, and they wanted to see the Alamo and go down Riverwalk, and so we did. We had to sacrifice ourselves and go down there.
Good. Yeah, we have to be nice. Here in San Antonio.
That's right.
but you can really see a lot of, the information is very strong and very complete on what you learn about different cultures, because it goes by modules, by regions and stuff. So I think it's very complete. I mean, it's a good designation to have.
It is. 5 days of, and the classes are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
It is all day.
Yes.
So you have to put your phone aside, except lunch. But it's really, really good. It's a great designation, and I highly, highly, tell you to get it.
Yeah, it is.
Questions?
I think the last question we have on here is, how do we sign up for CIPS? And I think you may have touched on that earlier.
I think if you go to NAR, you type CIPS and you can find it. They have all the information. Sometimes they have specials, and I don't know if now with all this COVID thing, they have some specials. If you take like a bundle of 2 or 3 classes all together, you get a discount or something like that. But I would start from there. Or if you are not in San Antonio, then check with your local board. I'm sure they will be able to help you.
And also on the CIPS information, they'll show you if the classes are offered somewhere like in Greece. Oh, yes. Or South America.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Or I've seen one in Germany.
Yes.
So I feel like retaking all my classes again. So I can just go for a trip.
Yeah, and it's always nice. There is not like a CE for CIPS. But I know that, for instance, for the last year when they came to San Antonio, they were kind of updating a little bit the curriculum. So it was nice to see and hear, what the updated information is. So once you get your designation, if you are focusing in one particular area, one particular population or market, then you probably want to retake one of those classes in that niche market that you have identified that to be,
to see what's new.
Yeah.
What's new in that market. Yeah.
Anything else, Annalise?
I don't think we have anything else, but we appreciate everything, and we may hand this back to Brianna.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining this event, and a huge thank you to Anna Ramos, Elsa Cantu, and Annalise Gonzalez for making this event truly spectacular. And I cannot wait to recreate that recipe. So stay tuned for upcoming Global Cook and Learn webinars in this series. And look out for a replay of this session in the Texas Realtors YouTube channel under our Global and Commercial playlist.
Thank you very much,
Thank you all so much again.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Have a wonderful Tuesday, everyone. Goodbye.